For more chat about geek entertainment, answers to your questions, and news from the wider world of Christian geekery, get the Christian Geek Central podcast today on iTunes and other podcast services. Well, my editing skills are crap, but can the same thing be said about Monster Camp? Stick around and find out. I'm Peter Franson from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. This is my uncut review of Monster Camp, part of the March Movie Madness Week that I have going on the Christian Geek Central YouTube channel right now. 7 days, 7 movie reviews, and we are getting into the back half now, again with Monster Camp. This one is available on Amazon Prime. It's a documentary. The description on IMDb, well, there's actually 2 of them. I'll read them both back to back. They kind of complement each other. A rare and fascinating glimpse into a real-life version of World of Warcraft, where gamer stereotypes are simultaneously shattered and confirmed. They never say this in the description. I should just say up front, this is a documentary. Welcome to Monster Camp, the true story about a world where people transform into creatures, heroes, and monsters to escape their daily lives. In the vein of Lord of the Rings, World of Warcraft, and Dungeons and Dragons, these enthusiasts have developed a complicated world to bring their fantasies to life. Romantic relationships are forged between characters, friendships are destroyed over plot disputes, characters are slain and never return. But keeping this world alive takes a lot of real-world work, and unless someone is willing to take charge, the fantasy may be lost forever. All right, so this is a 2007 documentary, as I said, available now on Amazon Prime, that first gives insight into the hobby of LARPing, live-action role-playing, if you're not familiar with that term, but then also provides snapshots throughout of the people who played this particular LARP, which is called Nero. It never, I don't think, aims to make fun, and that's based on the director's own words, that he would capture things that he thought would be funny or that were unusual or interesting or whatever, but it was never to make fun. It does intentionally capture some of those unusual and unique aspects of LARPing, and then I think it leaves it to the audience to either laugh or to be fascinated. Some viewers are also likely, I think, to feel compassion for some of those who throw themselves into the hobby in this movie at the cost of real-world relationships with family and friends. Your perspectives and values are really going to determine how you feel about this movie, how it strikes you. And I think that's an interesting aspect of documentary filmmaking, especially when it's done carefully, like I think this one was, in terms of trying not to pick a side, but just present some of the more unique and interesting things, and then really let you figure out how you feel about those things. I think that there'll be a variety of reactions. I think some viewers will scoff and make fun. I think some will become judgmental and think, well, at least I'm not as hardcore off the rails as that person, I think some people will become jealous and think, man, that's cool. I wish I was them. I remember a friend of mine, when we saw this video of LARPing on YouTube, and one of the guys was going, lightning bolt, and it kind of became a meme and stuff, He was laughing at this guy, just thought it was hilarious and was really laughing from an outside perspective. And I was like, dude, seriously? I want to be that guy, That looks like so much freaking fun. I think some viewers will also feel some sadness and compassion upon realizing that some people in this documentary are missing and as they realize what the people in this documentary are missing and longing for in their lives. A significant through line in the documentary, as was mentioned in one of those synopses that I read, is the fate of this particular LARP event, which has been running monthly for years but may have to shut down soon. I actually didn't find this to be nearly the most interesting part. It is, I think, a through line. If there is kind of like a story or kind of like a point of tension that comes to a climax and then a resolution, I suppose that would be the skeleton that some things are hanging on, but it's a very thin skeleton. Most of it is really fleshed out by just getting to know these people and the game they play and why they invest so much of their lives in playing it. Now, normally I talk about the cast and performances. Not really relevant here, but in a roundabout way, I can talk about just how I felt about the people in this documentary. I think every person in this movie can be sympathized with. There's no people in here that either through actuality that I could tell or through editing or whatever are kind of made to be the villain or made to be obnoxious or made to be this or that, their personality traits are just kind of natural. They naturally come out, and I look at a number of these people, and they almost all have their quirks, and a number of them I can tell. I'm like, oh, I think I would have a hard time being friends with that person like long term. But all of them I still found endearing in different ways, and I would love to know and spend at least a little time with any one of them. As far as, stunts and visuals, again, that's normally a category I talk about. I'll take a different approach a little bit talking about it in this movie. The behind-the-scenes features of the movie indicate that this particular LARP group is something of a lower budget organization compared to others, and so costumes are very simple, which plays up, I think, in the documentary's favor, the commitment of the players to be imaginative as they play, and it really brings out that aspect of their personalities and their geekery and their love of this hobby. But at the same time, don't expect impressive cosplay or makeup. There are a few of them that kind of go in, you can tell really give some time and dedication to their makeup, but it's still not, what you would see in the highlight reels of convention floors and stuff. So it doesn't seem to be a group that's aiming for that. Okay, so as far as themes, is there anything of moral, philosophical, or spiritual significance going on in the themes of this thing that might trigger some worthwhile thought or conversation? Yes, I think so. I think there are a number of questions that we can ask ourselves during or after we watch this movie. I'll just list a few of those questions that I think could come to mind, and that maybe should come to mind, and maybe be valuable for us to bring to mind after watching this movie. One question: why do I pursue the hobbies I enjoy? What do I get out of it? Do I enjoy my hobbies, or do I need my hobbies? Am I trying to extract something from them that is meant to be found in my relationship with God or my relationship with other people instead? What am I saying no to in my life in order to say yes to my hobbies? In what way might that seemingly strange person I know have hurts and longings that I can relate to? What deeper human need might they have that I can help meet in some way? I think there are a lot of really just kind of real heart issues that could be reflected on pretty easily after watching this movie. Now, I have no idea what your tastes are in movies or documentaries particularly, but if I were a time traveler, I'd go back in time and say, Vader, don't miss this one. It's not urgent to see it, but it's totally your thing. And like another movie you mentioned this week, when you just want something different, this is a great option. LARPing as a hobby is way too much investment for you, but it's cool to see other people enjoying it. And the people in this documentary have passions, interests, and subsurface longings that you can really relate to. It's both a celebration and examination of geeks who love geeking out. These are your people, Pater, with all their shortcomings and impressive strengths. It's a movie that you're going to enjoy watching and then will enjoy showing to others to help them see a part of your world and its people that they never would otherwise. All right, this one is rated TV-14. I couldn't find descriptions on why. I would guess that's probably for some language that maybe wasn't quite on my radar because it was mild enough that I didn't really think about it. And possibly some adult subject matter, maybe just some mild issues of sexuality that come up. All right, those are my thoughts. Would love to get yours in the comments below. Stay tuned for more March movie madness every day the rest of this week through Saturday. Please like, share, subscribe, click that bell to stay connected. I want to thank the Spirit Blade Insiders for making so many of my reviews possible. For info about the benefits of becoming an insider, go to patreon.com/spiritbladeproductions. And then I hope you'll join us soon over at christiangeekcentral.com as we continue to geek out and seek the truth. The Christian Geek Central podcast is the longest-running podcast for Christian geeks with over 600 weekly episodes and counting, featuring audio versions of much of the same content you'll find here, plus exclusive content including weekly news updates from the creators of Christian comics, novels, and video games, debriefing and commentary about what I've been playing, reading, and watching, and my expanded responses to your comments and questions via YouTube, email, or the Christian Geek Central forums. And now, with timestamps, so you can jump straight to the segments you want to hear most. Get the Christian Geek Central podcast today on iTunes and other podcast services, and enjoy one more way you can geek out and seek the truth.